What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Hope you're all doing well today. And I swear it's just been like 2 weeks since Checkers released his last track for us, Sky Ranch. However, today we have got Grasp something or other. I just looked at it. Hang on. Grass Track MX compound without any MX tracks. We've got an Arena Cross track and a Supercross track as well. I love that he's a fellow Arena Cross enjoyer. I do think in this game at the moment, they make for some of the most fun racing. So it'll be very interesting to see how these all ride. Looking start gate wise, obviously I've got this one over here loaded up right now. I have no idea if this is, I'm guessing it's raceable, but I don't know how many gates there'll be. So I don't think there'll be too many, but it is Arena Cross at the end of the day, isn't it? So you have to be nice and patient. Now, Checkers has self-admitted this is more focused on the tracks themselves and the flow. I guess, I mean, it looks pretty enough to me. I think the masking and stuff and texturing around the outside track does not look too shabby whatsoever. But he says it's not all like dressed up, to be honest, but I really don't care at the end of the day. Oh, hippity hoppity. Women are property. That was a joke. Please don't cancel me, YouTube. Please and thank you. Right, okay, yeah. Let's get into some laps.
For all of you passionate gamers, you can now get 20% off all G Fuel products worldwide by using code LINS at checkout. And for any of you motorheads looking for some new drip or apparel, use code MXPR_LINS15 fxrracing.eu to get 15% off. All links and codes are in the description down below. Enjoy the video and drop a cheeky little like and subscribe.
So, boys, if you did not watch yesterday's live stream of round 10 Aerial Supercross, I think you should probably just pause this real quick. Go and do so, and then return, if you don't want spoilers, that is, because the spoilers will indeed be coming in 3, 2, 1. I won. I don't know how. I won. We went back on the Husky for a race and absolutely munched the virtual dirt course. And I'm gonna throw it out there. I will now admit the track might have been a bit of a weird one, because not only did I win in EU, which tends to happen when the track is like very, very rough, very bumpy, a bit outside the norm. That was a weird lag spike. Aiden also won in NA. So two of the old boys. I think we both won in 2022. I want to say. So yeah, both getting a cheeky little dubski, which is nice. Although to be fair, he's true to the banana bike. I cheated. I wimped out. I went back to the Husky life, and I'm happy that I did. To be honest, it made me feel so much more competitive than I was on the Suzuki. I think the best way to word it is on the Husky, I feel like my quote-unquote cruising pace is a lot faster and a lot more competitive with the top boys. However, on the Suzuki, I feel like my cruising pace is just getting around the track, if that makes sense. It's not like I'm going particularly fast at any point, I'm just surviving. Whereas on the Husky, it's got a little bit more ability about it. It's a little bit more speed, a little bit more nimble than the Suzuki is. And, I mean, it can still get through the whoops just fine. So W all round. I'm sorry that I left my my girl in her white wedding dress. I left her at the altar. I stood her up, saw her at round 1 and round 2, and then it's kind of been a bit downhill since then in switching out to other bikes. But if I was this competitive all the time, I don't know. It would make me feel very, very good inside. I love doing well in this game. I really do. That might sound sad to some of you, but you have to understand it is my job at the end of the day. So if you can enjoy and do well at your job, then it's probably better than going to work and not enjoying it, isn't it? So if anybody was unaware, I'll give you the little details. So it was Indianapolis last night, and it's actually Indianapolis today, to be fair. I'm very excited to watch the racing tonight. And it's a Triple Crown format. So normal races, you would qualify inside the top 44, I think it is, because then they have 2 heats of 22 riders. So qualify in the top 44 or top 40, one of the two. Do your heat races. Top 9 from each heat go through, and then there's last chance qualifier where the top 4 go through. So you've got a couple of, different chances to get in there, and you have to qualify in around the top 40 to even make it into some of the night events. However, Triple Crown format, a lot more difficult. You have to qualify in the top 18 to make it straight through to the main event, and then 19th to 40th place go to an LCQ, and the top 4 make it through. So I feel like it's a lot more difficult to make it into a Triple Crown night show. But I made it through, no problem. And then in Triple Crown, you have 3 races rather than the 1. They are 3 shorter races. For 250, I think they're somewhere around 8 to 10 minutes. For 450, they are 12 minutes instead of our usual 20. And in race 1, I got off to a good start. I was P4. And then someone must have been looking down upon me on that day, because all 3 of the people in front of me took each other out. They all crashed at the same time, and I think I got very lucky to dodge the bikes, but I did then inherit P1. I did a bunch of messing around and well, not messing around intentionally, but so many mistakes in the first 3 or 4 laps, just like doubling my way through rhythms, casing everything, getting sketchy and whoops. I think I went back down to P2 at one point and then back up to P1, and I ended up getting the old Dubsky in race number 1, which I was happy with, and I thought, you know what, that's probably it. It's probably all downhill from here. I'm not going to carry on doing well for the rest of this night. Race 2, those dreams were, or those, like that forecast, maybe the right word, was coming true. I was down in the bin. I was 15th on lap 1. I then was somehow in like 5th on lap 2, and then I got charged all the way back to finishing 2nd, just 3 seconds off the lead. So really, really good. However, in race 1, I went first, Hakon got 2nd, Tyler J got... No, he didn't. In race 1, I got 1st, Tyler J got 2nd, Hakon got 3rd. In race 2, Hakon got 1st, I got 2nd, Tyler J got 3rd. So, as you can imagine, the points were very, very, very close, and it kind of all came down to the last race to see how everyone was doing. And also we had Jake, who I think went 4-4, so if the rest of us three had a really bad one and Jake up there again, even he could be in for a look of an overall there. So I channeled main Chase Sexton. I guessed when the gate was going to drop. I timed it. I timed it to perfection. It literally dropped the second I started accelerating, and we got a whole shot. I can't remember last time I got a whole shot, but it was great. I didn't have the lead by the end of the first rhythm because I had to take a slightly different line. Steiner ended up taking the lead, but we soon got into the lead after that. I think he made a little mistake and let me by. And yeah, then I just kind of cruised around for the whole race because Hakon had a terrible start. Tyler was lurking in around P3 at the time, but I had a little bit of breathing room. And even though there were fast people about, no one was kind of closing me down really, really quickly, if that makes sense, which is a really refreshing feeling to have. Usually, if I am out in front, I look at the timing and scoring and I think, oh god, like this person's in P2, or this person's here, this person's there, and I get not nervous as such, but I'm kind of just waiting. It feels like it's only a matter of time before they catch up, because I'm usually quite a bit slower. But that ended up not being the case at all. I was just really good, so I went first, second, and first again for first overall, and really happy. I'm a little bit annoyed, I can't lie, that I've had my kind of like poo races in the middle of this season, and I also missed a round, and I'm probably going to miss 1 or 2 more by the end of it. But maybe next year, if I find a bike that I'm liking, I'll just stick with it and then try and be competitive as I can, and then next year I should also be able to do each and every single round. Like, the only reason that I miss rounds at the moment is to go and visit the girlfriend, but I kind of do prefer that over racing. I can't lie. Like, it is nice. You only get to see each other once a month, and life gets in the way of racing sometimes, so you can't help it. But all we can do is try and enjoy it as much as we can whilst we're playing, and try and do as well as possible. So I'm really, really happy. Now, the next question is going to be, we got the next GP round on Monday. Am I going to end up rage quitting again? I don't know. I'll try the Husky. I'll try and mess around a little bit with a outdoors Husky suspension and see what I can come up with. And we know that if all else fails, I really need to be tripping that out of there. If all else fails, then I've got the Suzuki, like, really, really soft, soaky up, bumpy suspension, just chilling. Just chilling. Oh, I feel like you can definitely quad that if you hit the corner nice enough. I think there's some big lines on this track, but because I've been waffling so much, I've been struggling to get them. You know what? Let's lock in. We're locking in this lap. We're locking in after this jump. Nice. This is just a little check-up jump, isn't it? Yes. Through the sand. Nice. Double, triple. Yes. Step all the way over. Nice. What's a little bit odd about some of these jumps is they're not particularly huge in terms of how tall they are, nor do they also look incredibly steep, but for whatever reason they give you a lot of pop to jump really, really far, which I am a fan of. I do like jumps that are quite poppy. We've got to check up here, scrub that, scrub this bad boy, hit this triple. It's quite a big soupy triple, to be fair. Row this, hit a cheeky little brake tap, not brake tap. Yeah, brake tap, not tire tap, that's the one. Through the old whoop-de-doos here. If I can hit this corner nicely. Quad! Get it! Yes! And then quad again, all the way over. And double into the corner, round to the right. Little double and finish line jump. There we go. We got to clean that. That wasn't too shabby. Let's mosey on over. Speaking of mosey as well, where is the... is it over here? And speaking of mosey, I just saw the news. How? I'm not like I don't hate many people in like motocross in general, like real motocross. How has Moserman got a star ride? How does he keep doing this? He can't keep getting away with this. How's that? Star must have so many riders. It's ridiculous. Like, I don't even know if he's deserving of a star ride at this moment in time, to be fair. But I don't understand. I'm not sure how, like, who his manager is. I don't know how he keeps managing to get these really good rides. But fair play. I mean, if he rocks up and does really well, then by all means he's proved me wrong. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's there anymore. You know, I think he was like close-ish in the season that Freezy had a vendetta out for Craig and absolutely annihilated Craig. But Craig still won it. But yeah, I don't know. It's not meant to be like it's said in a really negative way. I'm not sure how he keeps getting these sorts of rides, or how Star can even afford this many riders. It's actually unreal. I'd be interested in knowing other people's thoughts on that. Yeah, I'll call it soccer for you Americans, but in football, European football, they have in some series or leagues they have what's called financial fair play, where you can't just, like, for example, if your team is owned by a Saudi prince who has billions of oil money, you can't just go and buy every single player that you want. There's kind of like a limit to it. Otherwise, you know, it'd just be completely unfair and you just win every single game all the time easily. I've done it 2 laps in a row. I'm so sorry. I imagine there'd be something like that implemented in Motocross eventually, or there's a cap. Maybe you can have like 4 riders per team, like, across all coasts at some point. Because I think they've got something like 9 riders now, which is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, give someone else a chance. Like, I suppose you can't lose the championship if you have every single rider. That is a good strategy. It's a bold strategy, but it's a good strategy nonetheless. And yeah, I don't know what to make of that. This arena cross track is it's a bit more open than I expected the arena cross track to be. I thought it'd be a little bit tighter, but again, I think the jumps are nice and floaty. There's nothing particularly difficult about this. And obviously you'll all be very pleased to hear that this is free on MXC Mods, and it is out right now. I'll link it for you in the description. Yeah, nothing particularly hard about this track. I don't think I've got the oomph to be able to quad all the way up and over that on-off. I do want to try this inside line here. So this is just a double in, step over, yeah, step over, triple, and then single. It's a good alternative line. I do, however, think the right-hand side and stepping onto the table at the start is far faster. Especially because you don't have to end up singling into the corner afterwards. But I really do enjoy me some arena cross. That's a very biased opinion, because it's what I've been working on recently as well. But yeah, elimination races and just 1v1s and all sorts on the arena cross tracks, they do something to me. They're really good fun. I really do enjoy them. And so this track and the Supercross track that I just played over there to the right, they've both got their own individual timing gates and track layouts. So if you want to time yourself on either one, then you can do. You've got that ability to do so. And I'm quite impressed that it's only taken 2 weeks from Checker's last release to this. I feel like he might have a little bit of an itch since he's come over to a new game now. But hey, if this is going to be the upload schedule, then by all means, keep it going. And in terms of visuals, I saw some people hating on Sky Ranch, saying that it was just lacking and basic. I think in terms of the environment, I would agree. I think it lacks a little bit, but he's obviously mentioned that in this track post, it's not really meant to be like fully suited and booted. Like, it's meant to be like a little bit on the barren side. But I think in terms of the textures that he uses and the way they are on the track, where you've got your on track, off track, extra off track, and then grass textures merging into it, I do think it's well done. And masking isn't something that I think Checkers is particularly used to, especially coming from an MX Simulator background, where I don't know if things have changed, but back when I played Sim, you had to like manually place your textures. So if we was on the track right now, if I actually bring up this, we're going to replay real quick so I can bring up an arrow so you can actually see what I'm pointing at and looking at. So in bikes, obviously we go into like Photoshop or whatever, and if I'm using a grass texture, I'll go into Photoshop, paint all of this white to all be grass, and then you see where it kind of disappears slightly. This will be more like a gradient, like it will slowly fade to black, because they'll all of like solid grass is white, no grass at all is black, and then anything in between where it's little bits of grass will be like anything light grey, dark grey, whatever. However, on Sim, what you would do is, if I go all the way down, is we'd have like a square like this, which is you'd call like a tile or a decal, and then you would get that one square. You'd then like I guess like drag these squares around. It would keep pasting them over and over. So you'd start over here, and it would be just this square would be grass only, and it'd be square, 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 and you can rotate them and all sorts. So I think it's a little bit more, might be a little bit more time consuming to do on Sim, but it's a completely different method of doing so. So I think this is something new for Chris. So he's just kind of getting into the swing of things, but I think it's absolutely fine. And I will say, I don't know if he's done much messing around with like soil types, or if it is just left on like one thickness soft soil, which is the default when you're creating tracks. But track erodes quite nicely. It really, really does. It feels soft, but it doesn't give you those horrible like square ruts that make your front end knife the second you get into them. So, I mean, props and praises all round. Keep them coming. Keep them coming, Chris. I will happily take all the tracks. I really, really will. Job well done. And again, I think people will enjoy this. It seems it's got 5 stars on MXB mods so far, so it seems like it's not just a biased opinion. It seems like other people are enjoying it as well. And it's nice. So it's not too difficult. I feel like this is the kind of Supercross and Arena Cross tracks where anybody can hop on and just learn the game and learn Supercross in general, which we don't have too much of. So it's nice to see. So that'll wrap it up for me. Hope you guys have enjoyed, and I mean, let me give your feedback on the track below in the comments. I'm sure checkers will be happy to have a little read through as well and see what people are into, what they're liking, what they're not liking, and I think that'll wrap it up there. I thank you very much for watching. As always, it's really, really appreciated, and thank you for stopping by in all the streams recently. Have a lovely rest of the day, whatever you're up to. Don't forget to like if you did enjoy the video, and subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.
I'm working hard, I'm sacrificing my life, I'm sacrificing my mind, I'm sacrificing my sanity, but most importantly, I'm sacrificing my time. Boy, I feel fine, I feel like I am a king. Honestly, I can't complain, even with faith that's the size of a grain of some salt, I will still move a mountain and do what I want. I got salt to be for my